friends. Welcome back to the Shine Bright series. I am Miss J and I am your host today. Thank you for tuning in. I'm super excited that you're here and I hope that you have gotten a lot out of these first three episodes on the Shine Bright series, and I am back with episode number 4. I told you if you watched last week that we're going to have a 5 episode because there was so much going on in here. I wanted to be able to take each piece of this and do it in a manner that you could easily digest it, apply it to your life, and so that we could just start building these things into our life. Now, if you are on your pursuit of happiness and you want to shine brighter, you are in the right place. I am spending these 5 weeks talking to you about some different practical tips that I have found in a book that I was super excited about and I've been sharing with you. It is called Shine 20 Secrets to a Happy Life, and I got this out of Barnes and Noble. If you're looking for the link to the book, you can go back to episode 1 or go to the Facebook page. I've dropped the Amazon link there. And may be able to do that again under this. So make sure if you're interested in it, it's a quick read, beautiful book itself, and orange sticky notes and tabs not included because of course those are my notes to help me navigate through this episode with you. I am super excited that we are able to come together and spend some time. So hopefully this 30 minutes will be able to assist you in continuing to move towards your new level in your life. So I'm not going to waste too much time. All of my contact information, if this is your first time joining me, I'm Miss J and Life Coach. All of my contact information will be at the back end of this on the exit scene. So feel free to reach out to me, especially if, doing this yourself may seem a little difficult and you want an accountability partner, someone who can add some more depth to your understanding and applicability to your day-to-day life. Reach out to me. You know how to find me. So let's go ahead and jump right on in. I'm going to talk to you today about 5 different topics. The first one is going to do breathe. Then we're going to go to move, eat, sleep, solitude. Breathe, move, eat, sleep, solitude. So those are going to be our topics for today, and I hope that you have the opportunity to watch this all. As always, get your pencil, get your paper. I'm going to be giving you some real tangible and practical tips as well as some good information about why these things are important for you to prioritize in your life to help you shine brighter. All right, so we're going to hop on into topic number 1, which is breathe. And of course, if you are going to get the book, the way that I'm going through these are out of order. So you'll see that there are 20 different tips and they are in a different order than the way that I'm covering them, but I grouped them in things in a manner that I thought would be more beneficial to apply. So if you're in the book, breathe is section number 12, and the first thing that it says is that breath you just took, that's a gift. And I think that's one of the things that we take for granted is the fact that it happens without us even thinking about it. Breathing happens without us even trying. So we often just forget how important it is, not only to our bodies, but the things that it can be, the benefits that it has on mood, etc. So in the book, it tells you that breathing is affected by our thoughts. This is a good point that I saw. Breathing is affected by our thoughts, and our thoughts and physiology, can be influenced by our breath. So there's a reciprocal relationship. The more stressed out you are, probably the shallower breaths you're taking. The shallower breaths you're taking makes your body more anxious and uptight. But if you are to breathe, then you can have the opposite effect on that anxiousness and that tense feeling that you have in your body. So think about how those things impact one another. And sometimes we don't even recognize it, again, because it's such a natural thing. Breathing is essential to life. It's the first thing we do at birth, and it's the last thing we do before death. So when we're taking our breaths, it's just so natural and instinctual that we don't think about what it can be doing for us, except for when you're in moments when someone is telling you, calm down, take a deep breath, etc. In those moments, you have to be more intentional about your breathing. However, if you are more intentional about your breathing on a day-to-day basis, there are other benefits that will assist you in just managing your life. So, a controlled mindful breathing activity or habit or regimen, whatever one you want to call, helps to encourage relaxation and cultivate the relaxation response. And so breathing will allow us to manage our how we navigate the world, and all those things that we encounter. So you've heard about fight or flight and that response to either fear or danger. But think about your breathing during those times. You're also going to be breathing much at a much faster rate. Your body is going to be responding at a higher capacity. And when you have an opportunity to calm down, when you get out of danger or when you're finished with the encounter, you then will start to take deeper breaths to calm yourselves down. Breathing is important. We want to make sure that we can do mindful breathing if possible, because it not only helps you to relax, it makes sure that your oxygen is delivered properly through your body, which every single thing within you needs oxygen, right? And it can lower your blood pressure. Of course, we talked about anxiety, stress, fear, etc. And then the positive is that it can help you to release endorphins. And endorphins are the things that help you have a better positive mood. So there are two deep breathing tips on the bottom of this. And the first one is called 3 deep breaths before a new task. This is something that you can work into your day-to-day routine so that you can maintain, like for me, I carry tension in my shoulders. And so if I can just relax, put my shoulders down, and take 3 deep breaths before moving on, then that will allow me to maintain that relaxation and lessen the amount of tension that I'm carrying in my shoulders. So the technique that they have outlined in the book for 3 deep breaths is that, of course, when you wake up in the morning, take 3 deep breaths. Before you get in the shower, take 3 deep breaths. When you're turning on your computer or starting a new task, just take 3 deep breaths. And a deep breath is not just a breath that comes into your chest, but breath that comes also down into your abdomen. So you want to try to fill the whole entire thing up intentionally. You can either do that and take some pauses in between, or you can just breathe naturally on your natural rhythm with a deep breath, which is just a little bit elongated. So when you go to the doctor and they tell you to take the breaths, breathe in, breathe out. That's what you want to do. It doesn't have to be exaggerated. You saw how I just did my head and my chest like that. You don't have to do that. However, you want to make sure that you're filling up not only your lungs, but also try to breathe deep enough that you can get it all the way down. So a deep breath would be more like, and when I did that, the natural response is just to fill the lungs, but I had to keep going. So do the 3 deep breaths before a new task. It doesn't have to be all loud and noticeable, so that you can incorporate it into your body and just watch the results throughout your body. For me, like I said, it's the shoulder tension and the neck. I typically am like this all day, and I need to relax, relate, and release a little bit through those deep breathing exercises. The other one, and if you are watching and you're watching either on Facebook or YouTube, there is a 5 deep breath routine that they have outlined in the book. And if you want it, send me a message, hello@missj.com, and I will I will send you a copy of the 5 deep breaths technique. But it's a whole process of what you need to do. Lie on your back, take the 5 deep breaths, and then concentrate on your breathing and doing the counting. But to do this prior to sleep so that you can relax your body and release the tension that it instructs you to kind of identify. So it's a more mindful and focused breathing exercise so that you can get to sleep a little bit easier. Now we're going to come back to sleep in just a moment and talk about, you know, talk about how to improve your sleep. However, this is something that you can also incorporate besides the tips that I'm going to give you shortly. And again, all of this goes together. All of these topics that we're talking about can be, they rely on each other. They can be improved by doing them all together, and you can implement them at the same time. They kind of have a chain effect, a chain link effect. So making deep breathing, not just that natural, unthought of breathing, but intentional, thoughtful, controlled breathing, a part of your day-to-day activity, will help you to gain some clarity and to go through your day, maybe just a little bit less stress, which is of course a part of shining bright. You can't shine bright if you're stressed out. So let's try to breathe some of that away. We're gonna in with the fresh, out with the stress. That's what we're gonna do. In with the fresh, out with the stress. All right. So because we have 5 topics, I'm gonna move on. All right. So our next topic is a move, and that wasn't an intentional transition, but hey, it works. So move is in the book, and it is in section 7. So of course we all know, and we've heard consistently, the benefits of moving and exercise. Those things that are physical when it comes to weight loss, when it comes to being able to manage some of the things that could be preemptive for diseases. Of course, exercise is great and is highly recommended for optimum health and well-being. So, of course, if you're going to be working at your optimum, you're going to also be shining a little brighter. But for some of us, as we age, our bodies has changed. Things become a little bit more difficult. Our life becomes more hectic, and exercise potentially isn't something that's at the top of our priority list. And so I just want to remind you that there are several different ways that you can get the exercise or the movement in your life, and it doesn't have to be something that is super strenuous. It doesn't have to be costly. If you go on any social media app, you can find that there are at-home workout opportunities. There are so many apps out there that you can also just download, and it'll guide you through exercises. But the thought is that you want to be not only working on the physical, there's also mental and psychological benefits to movement. So it allows you to, it has positive impacts and benefits for memory and memory retention, attention to detail and how long you are paying attention, as well as your ability to solve problems. Because once you're moving, your blood is circulating. As you're getting that blood through your body, your brain is allowed to get fresh blood, fresh oxygen, which opens up those pathways that increase the psychological, or the more than just the physical, but the mental capacities. So you want to try to incorporate movement into your day. Of course, we're not going to ask you to do that like play 60, what the kids do, or 60 to 90 minutes of exercise. But if you are trying to incorporate movement into your life, these 2 tips are going to help you. First of all, just create an exercise goal. Whatever that goal is for you. It might be to be more flexible, so your exercise might be yoga. It might be to lose weight, so you might want to do cardio. It might want to be endurance. You might want to be a runner. You might want to do a 5K. Whatever the case may be. You might need to lose 2 inches in the waist because, hey, those jeans are a little bit snug. I know I've gained the COVID weight. I'm sure a lot of my viewers out there has as well. So whatever the goal is, just write it down again. We talked about goal keeping earlier in the Shine Bright series. Write it down. Review it daily. Also, on a daily basis, try at least 10 minutes. If you can't commit to 10 minutes, then we have an issue. Those 10 minutes could be walking around your house. Those 10 minutes could be going up and down your stairs consistently for 10 minutes. Walking down the street. Taking a bike ride with your kids, whatever the case may be. And if you don't have stairs in your house, one of the things that I used to do with my colleagues back in Georgia, we worked in a 3 or 4 story building. we would meet in the stairwell and we would walk the stairs up and down. Every day we do that twice a day, partially to get some movement, but also just to get out of our desk and to have some girl talk. So find yourself a movement buddy, figure out a path that you can take, and then just keep doing it consistently, daily, 10 minutes. Now, this is something that I have to commit to. Some days I'm really great and I'm like, okay, I'm going to do 15. Some days, for some reason, I'm like, oh, I'm going to do push ups every time a commercial break comes on during this show. And those are further and fewer in between. However, it could be whatever you want. Create a goal, strive for at least 10, and make sure you're doing something daily. Of course, we talked about walking, cycling, swimming. The summer is coming up. Now, ladies, there are a whole lot of new swim cap options for big hair. Cute ones, turban swim caps. Go get you one of those so that you can maintain your do, and also make sure that you are getting some of that physical ability. Dancing, running, yoga, tai chi, Zumba. There's tons of it. If you're really into it, CrossFit. Find a trainer, get an app, and again, a movement buddy. Because you'll find out that what probably worked for you a couple of years ago might not necessarily work. Our bodies change as we age. So we're going to have to go through a variety of exercises to see what's going to help us get to our goal. The other thing you want to be mindful of is the time of day, what works for you. Again, incorporating movement into your work schedule or your 15-minute break, then that might work for you. If you're too busy rearing children or cooking dinner and taking care of the house when you come home. So figure out the time that you can consistently do it. Put it on your calendar, set your watch or an alarm to remind yourself, okay, I get to move. If you have a smartwatch, smartwatches tell you need to get up. Make sure that you're getting up when your smartwatch tells you, or as close to the get up time that you can. If you're in a meeting, you might just want to stand up out of your chair. Say it's okay. If I just need to stand for a moment. You don't have to leave and exit the room. Just stand up. And then that itself has an improved benefit for you. So there are 2 of the tips to keep moving or to get moving if you are not moving at this point in time. So now we're going to move on over. We woke up, we did some deep breathing, we decided that we were going to get moving, and then the next thing we need to do is to make sure that we are eating properly. Our food choices have a huge impact on our overall health, how we feel, and how we look. So you want to make sure that you're eating as healthy as possible to assist not only in your physical upkeep, but also in your mental capacity. And it's going to help you shine a little brighter. Nobody wants to see a hangry person coming down the hallway. I know you don't want to talk to me when I'm hangry. So you want to make sure that you are fueling yourself, not just feeding yourself. If we can think about food as fuel, then we can start to change the mindset that allows us to eat the right thing instead of just eating everything. Now, this I can tell you is probably where my most recent transition has been. I am a foodie, self-proclaimed foodie. I like to eat, and when I eat, I want it to be good, and I don't care about the quantity, typically. Over the course of the last, I would say 6 weeks, I've started making a change with some things, and now my appetite has shifted, my body has shifted, because of course I'm trying to lose some weight. I was the heaviest that I've ever been at my last doctor's appointment, and I can't just hate the nurse for telling me what I weigh. I have to make some changes, right? So we want to make sure that we're thinking about what we put inside of our bodies, especially if we're not going to be moving. We need to at least be trying to wrap our minds around what we eat. The powerhouse duo is movement and food choices. So that's what's going to get you where you want to go further, faster. And think about healthy eating as a lifestyle choice, not a diet. Diets come and go and they have temporary gain. But however, once you start changing your mindset and your food habits, that's when you get into to the sustained benefits of your new diet. So, or of your new dietary choices, excuse me. We want to try to make sure that this isn't an afterthought. I know I get caught sometimes on a busy day and I'm sitting at my desk and I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I going to eat? I only have 15 minutes between my next meeting. So we want to make food a built-in part of our schedule. And you do that by creating a weekly plan, looking at your calendar, figuring out when do you have nighttime commitments that may prevent you from cooking? What are your meeting schedules that you have around lunchtime when you have time to eat? Plan weekly so that you can think about what am I going to have breakfast, lunch, dinner. And that way you don't have to think about it. It becomes automated because it's what you have in your kitchen. So you want to not only plan weekly, but you want to shop weekly. Work your plan your food and work your plan. So plan it out, get everything that you need, have it stocked, potentially prepped or put away in organized manner. And then that way on Monday morning you can wake up, you pull out what you need, put it in your bag, and you go. You come home, everything is already there in your space. So you get less used to making in the moment decisions, which leads to, okay, let's just order out or let's go through the drive-through, which those prepackaged foods are far less nutritious for your body. So busy proof, take 20 minutes. It's probably going to take you more than that. Take 2 hours to meal plan and to shop. I am a huge fan of pickup or grocery delivery. So you can download your Walmart app, your Publix app, Amazon Prime, Whole Foods, whatever, and put the things into your basket. If you're that busy, then pick it up on your way home, pick it up on your way out, or have it delivered to your front door. That way it just shows up. You want to automate it. Again, all of the nutrition people say, you can have a cheat day, but don't just go overboard to reverse the effects of what you've been doing consistently. But if you're like me, it's like over these last 6 weeks, I've seen that my taste and my palate has changed slightly. So some of the things that I would have died for back in January, I don't even kind of want anymore, which is odd, which is I'm not going to say it's odd, it's a new thing for me, especially now that I'm still cooking for kids and for family, for my husband, who hasn't necessarily committed to what I've committed to. But it's a great place for all of us because I can influence my kids' food choices and also my husband's food choices, which usually are aligned with mine. So the other thing you want to do is tip number 2, eat seasonal and local whenever possible. So of course, there's this whole eat local movement, but basically what eat local is about making sure that you are getting the food that is closest to you. Therefore, it has a more fresh and nutritional impact on it instead of something that has been shipped from long distances, had to have some form of preservative in it in order to sustain that shipping process and the grocery store life and all of those other things. So eating local is about eating what's grown closest to you in your regional area. Eating seasonal is about making sure that you're trying to eat the produce and the things that are currently in season, because if it's harvested during that time, again, it's going to be fresher. It's going to have the more nutrient packed impact for your body instead of things that are preserved, canned, frozen, etc. Eat fresh, seasonal, and local whenever you can. I'm a huge fan of farm to table. I'm a huge fan of locally sourced. And when I go out to eat, I typically like to eat at those types of places because I feel like it's something that hasn't been produced in a manufacturing unit, packaged up and shipped to the chain location and then thawed out for me to eat at that table. So That's just my own personal preference, but definitely things for you to think about. I also like fast casual chains instead of fast food. So I will go to like a Kava or a Viva Chicken, or a salad bar like there's one close to my house. That's kind of expensive. So what I have been doing is just buying heads of lettuce and fresh produce and making my own salads, because I'm trying again to make sure I'm monitoring what goes in. So those are some great options. Think about it, incorporate it. Small changes done more frequently equal big changes down the road. Okie dokie, we are moving on. We're going to chug right on through this. I see that I'm at right about 25 minutes, so we're going to go on over to our next one, and probably my most favorite. If I could do this and get paid for it, honey, I would. But unfortunately, I make my money with my eyes open. Who signed me up for that? But sleep. Sleep is our fourth topic, and it is essential to a radiant person. So if you're going to shine bright, you got to be sleeping properly. Just like nobody want to see a hangry person walking down the hallway, nobody want to see a sleepy, tired, and grumpy person either. So you want to make sure that you're getting good quality sleep so that you can recharge and re-energize your body on a daily basis. Now, I slept horribly last night, so I'm praying that tonight I get better sleep. But I know, those little wheels were turning, and all of the stuff that I have going on this weekend was just all over my mind. And I have done everything to try to get to sleep, but it didn't work. So hopefully tonight I can sleep well. These are things that you can do to have improved sleep. Number one, create curfews for eating and create a device curfew. So, if you are a parent and you've ever sleep trained a child, those tips still work for you as well. So, sleep training is about taking the atmosphere down, setting a different ambiance in your house, and making sure that everyone gets into this relaxation mode. So, turning off devices, turning down lights, especially overhead lighting, harsh lighting, turning on lamps that have a dimmer bulb or a yellow bulb, turning down the volume on your TV, radio, whatever's playing in your house, and creating a more calm and quiet environment is how you end up sleep training a baby, along with routine, right? Take your bath, bottle, bed, all of those good things. For an adult, you have to start doing some of that stuff for yourself. Turn off your devices. Set your do not disturb. Make sure that the people who are most important to you, who call most frequently, understand. Don't call me after a certain time. I also, I am someone that kind of sleeps with my TV on occasionally, but when I'm super tired, no TV. I'll just go and get in my bed and not turn on any of the TV. There is something that I'm going to read you from the book. I want to make sure that I get it right, but it's talking a lot about the two, I want to say hormones, but it might not necessarily be right. So let me make sure I get the right word. We all know about melatonin, because people are buying melatonin off the shelf. They're buying melatonin in their tea and melatonin pills. But you want to also understand that this says we have two predominant hormones associated with sleep: serotonin and melatonin. Serotonin is the happy neurotransmitter, and it's also key to having a good night's sleep, because it has a relaxing impact on the mind and body. So, serotonin helps you drift off to sleep faster and also sleep deeper. You increase the serotonin by winding down and relaxing in your bed before actually trying to go to sleep. So it's about, again, getting in sync with some type of a schedule or a wind down period so that your mind starts to go, okay, we're finished with this day. It's time to rest, rejuvenate, heal, and recover. You start getting into that thought process. Your hormone starts working. The serotonin is going to help you relax. and then you're going to use that melatonin, which is going to help you keep sleep. Now, the first part of your sleep is always going to be your deepest sleep. So that first couple of hours after you fall asleep, that's where you're healing and rejuvenating most. So you want to make sure that once you get to sleep, you can stay asleep as long as possible, because that's where you're going to get your maximum benefit in that first time of sleep. Now, how long you sleep definitely is up to you. You know, they say kids need 10 hours and adults should have 7 to 9 hours. I definitely am an 8 hour person, and I'll tell you, my phone goes on do not disturb at 9 p.m. I don't talk to anybody typically after 8 p.m., but my phone goes on to do not disturb. So none of my devices will ring. I am in lights out typically after I put my kids to sleep. But we also do the dimming of the lights, the down of the volume. We try to relax. Some nights we sit on the floor and we do deep breathing and meditating because they're so amped up that I need them to bring it down a notch. But your eating curfew should be at least 2 hours prior to going to sleep. You want to make sure that you're going to bed without food still heavy on your stomach, because that's going to make you uncomfortable, as well as, of course, your body has things to do with that. So when you're sleeping, it's things to do with the food that's still in your stomach. So while you're sleeping, you want it to be focusing on other things and not necessarily digestion as its primary function. So make sure that you're setting those curfews. The other tip that you see on the screen is empty your bucket before bed. And if you've been watching the series, you know that I've talked about journaling. But empty your bucket is basically making sure that you get all the stuff out of your brain so you won't be like me last night. I can admit to you that I did not journal. I did not write last night. I was so ready to go to bed that I just took the shower and hopped right in, and I didn't take 10 minutes to empty the bucket. Or I didn't take 5 minutes. I didn't take any minutes. I just got in the bed and was like, let's go get it. And I did not get anything. I didn't get those Z's. But you want to make a list of things that's on your mind. Or if you're going to be practicing gratitude, this is a great place to write down your what I'm thankful for statements and make your gratitude list or in your journal. Pick an affirmation. This is something definitely new. There's a sleep affirmations in this book. And I've never heard of sleep affirmations, but I am definitely going to put this on my headboard and see if it works for me. Now, there are 5 sleep affirmations in the book. If you want a copy of it, send me an email, hello@missj.com. And this says, the affirmation that I love the most out of here says, I close this day with pure joy and now drift into sound sleep. Just saying that is like, okay. My brain is like, okay, let's do it. And it's not even time to go to bed. But there are 5 sleep affirmations. If you are an affirmations person, this might be something definitely for you. But I'm going to start closing my day with pure joy and go dripping off to a deep sleep, sound sleep, whatever the affirmation was. So if you want that, sleep affirmations, send me an email. Say, hey, Jay, send me the sleep affirmations, please, and I will send it to you. hello@missj.com is the email address. So now we're going to move on to our next topic, and the next topic is solitude. I like me some solitude, even though I rarely get it. I have a family of 3. I am a mom of 2 boys and a wife of 1 husband who is my very best friend. And so because I'm surrounded by them at least every day, multiple hours out of the day, and of course I work, and of course I have a client-facing job, alone time for me is very important. And so in this book, they were talking about the fact that we feel guilty about having some alone time. And I was just amazed because I guess it's the introvert in me, even though I'm very extrovert. I flex to extrovert a lot. The introvert in me is like solitude, alone time, and quiet is where I re-energize and rejoice. But it says in this book, and I'm going to read you a quick passage. It says, in past generations, it was a badge of honor. Yeah, I can concur with that. To put yourself last on the priority list. But these days, we know that placing yourself last leads to feeling drained, exhausted, frustrated, and resentful. How can you shine bright if you are drained, exhausted, frustrated, and resentful? That is the complete opposite of glowing up the room, honey. You might be blowing up the room, but you ain't glowing up the room. So we need to make sure that we can take time for ourselves. And it allows you to switch off. It allows you to problem solve, to think about yourself, self-reflect, rest, repair, to be present just with you, with how you're feeling, where's your tension, what's constantly on your mind, and to give yourself an opportunity to process that without interruption. You have to be able to create a space for you. Create a space for you so that you can evolve, you can rise to the situation and circumstances that you are currently surrounded in, and you can take a moment, listen to the things that you've been hearing or working through. Listen for that still small voice that's guiding you consistently. Listen, plan, resolve, and begin to move forward. If you are going to live your happiest, biggest, and brightest life, you have to have time for yourself. So we got to get rid of the guilt. We got to get rid of the fear of, oh my gosh, I'm going to be neglecting somebody else. You're not going to neglect someone by taking 30 minutes a day. If there are people in your life that can't survive without you for 30 minutes, then you have a codependent relationship, which is technically not necessarily the healthiest thing. So you want to be working on that. I got a resource for you if you need to figure out how to get out of a codependent relationship. But you want to be in a space where the person or the people that are around you in your circle understand that in order to be better for them, you have to be good for you. So that is your guilt-free solitude reminder number 2. You can't pour from an empty cup. And so if you are constantly giving to others, pouring, and you've never stopped to get yourself refilled, then they're not getting the best of you. They're not getting any of you because you ain't even got nothing to give yourself. So you want to make sure that you understand, especially when you're feeling drained, when you're feeling just overdone, when you're overextended, overwhelmed, underwater, whatever the case may be, you got to stop. Find your closet. That closet might be your car. That closet might be BJ's pushing a cart down the aisle. If you're my 8-year-old, that closet might be a couch, an outdoor set at Lowe's or Home Depot where he can post up by himself and people watch. Your closet might be your couch. It might be your bathtub. It might be a massage table. Whatever the case may be, you have to find your space where you can be just who you are. So, remind yourself, number 1, you have permission to be your first priority. And I'm not saying you live your whole entire life like that, but you can have permission to be your first priority. You deserve to get a couple of hours a week to take care of you. You deserve to have a 30-minute shower. You deserve to be alone sometime, to get along with yourself and to get along with God. Solitude reminder number 3. It allows you to hear the small voices. Sometimes you can only get confirmation in solitude and silence. So you want to make sure that you're intentional about giving yourself that space. All right. You are worth it. We are headed to a new level of radiance. We are going to be shining brighter than we ever have. And we are on our way. So with this topic, we've covered a lot of things. I think we only have three more topics left. And I'm super excited about those because they are very practical. They're about time management and creating habits and all those things that I talk about very frequently. However, it's important for you. All of these things thread together to make your life a little lighter so that you can shine brighter, live freer, and happier. If you're in the pursuit of happiness, I hope that these 5 episodes give you a little bit of something that you need. And again, get in touch with me. I'm here for you, babe. So, it's been fantastic. I hope you enjoyed it. We're right at about 40 or so minutes. So, push play, push pause, get your notebook out, write down some things that you need for each of those topics, and make sure that you can start incorporating them this week. I will be back with our final episode, and that will be the first weekend of April. If you have any questions, things that you want me to provide recommendations or resources on, send me an email. I might be able to do something live to answer those, just depending on the number of responses, or I'll send you a private message back. So take care. Thank you so much for joining Miss J. I am super excited that you are here with me, and I hope that you return again. Feel free to reach out to me at any point in time. You have the email addresses. If you're interested in coaching, you can go to my business website, which is www.illumin.group. If you're on the Miss J website, though, you can link to everything that I do there. So you can find the Illumin Group website posted there as well. So, all right. Have a fantastic day, good peeps. Take care. Until next time.